So if you want to get better, it has to be based off real fishing stats. It has to be based off what's really happening in the environment right now. Then it's broken down into what you need to do. Someone caught one 3 months ago. Someone caught one last week. That's just fake hope. So that's saying forgetting about the 99% that didn't catch fish and concentrating on the one. I know you have to be positive. I know all that from goal setting, but you have to be real to make a real plan. Otherwise, every step and every moment from there on in your life is fake. And I've just noticed a lot of people live in that mythic fake fishing land. They don't actually know what it is. I remember seeing Gleason from Gumbalanya just a couple of months ago, spent 15 minutes just watching the water, and he had one spear throw for one fish. It was brilliant. And I put that online about 15 years ago. One cast, one fish, principles and foot stance. And I was getting criticized by the sort of Jedi warrior fishing, put your fish up every week type of guy, or every couple of weeks. It was a fake fishing scene in a way, that group. There's good people outside of it because they were reporting when they caught, not when they didn't. They didn't have systems to improve themselves. They didn't have systems to improve you. And then they would criticize people with them. So it was really weird. They lived in this fake, I'm an Olympian thing without going to the Olympics. It was kind of a weird thing. I think a lot of them were insecure. They're using fishing to try and butch up and be tough. It was really a shame to see because a lot of them ruined and took the best people off those internet pages. The moderators didn't retain those good people, so they didn't know enough. Magazine editors didn't know enough. Writers didn't know enough. And people in the scene controlling the industry weren't spotting the people with talent there that could have moved all of us forward together. So the breakdown of all that from me is it's either going to be fake or real, the journey for you. You're either going to be honest with yourself or just live a life of lies. So they caught a fish last month or last week might not help you. You can bring it up in conversation, but realize today it's a completely different plan here today than there was yesterday. And that is governed by weather, target fish, and the decode, all that is run by the human body, and the people that run the human body are coaches and trainers like myself. It's very, very, very hard to watch a person in eating junk food, drinking beer, and saying he's a Jedi in fishing and telling me I'm not allowed to talk about fishing, which happened in the last 5, 10, or 15 years. And all the high performance people I know were just looking at them, and high performance people in business were looking at that group going, you just set fishing back 100 years. It's a real shame if you want to bring this scene up to be good for our mental health, to stop the bickering and belittling. You have to get back to realism. All plans have to be from a very accurate point. Otherwise, your navigational, you're off with your nav straight away. By the time you get further out, you're way off. But that's how you plan a fishing career. From beginner, intermediate, advanced, and in search of mastery, it has to be real. And that's why I want you to have your plans. So it's not those guys on the internet, okay? And it's not the scene type plans. It's actually a plan for you based in realism. Otherwise, you're just talking to a liar and a fake person. And sadly, I've found in some sections that's the majority, and the realists are elsewhere. But real, remember, is what high performance is. When we do high performance with athletes and do high performance assignments and write high performance systems and programs, it has to be real. I hope that makes sense, because it took me a long time to figure that out, and it took me decades of watching them to make a fair assessment of where most of them were. Other good ones are outside of that, but I think they just don't have good people to talk to and good systems to follow. So I'd like you to build your own system, base it in reality. Don't be too hard on yourself. It doesn't have to be a competition. It can be just for mental health. And it is fantastic for our mindset, and it's fantastic for our health, mentally and physically, to get outdoors. And original people all around the world knew that, all right? But someone caught a fish last month, someone caught a fish last week. And every time you talk to someone, someone's always saying, someone caught a fish, and you're sitting there going, yes, for what do the other 99% do? And then once you get that data, then you've got the real fishing report. Most people aren't catching fish. It's tough fishing. But the other group wants to lie so much. They always want to say it's easy fishing, something's out there. And I look at them, and sadly, it's always a low achievement group. They've never really achieved a lot in their life. And it's that group that are maybe tryhards or trying hard or never been successful in other areas of business or sport in their life, and they've been insecure. But it's always that group, I notice. And they'll try and bully us who are in realism to not talk like this, because it just cuts through their lies. So make your choice. You're a casino angler, bingo angler, or you're real. It's either fake or real. Make your choice. But if you want to improve, the most accurate way to improve is in reality. To get reality, you want to know what everyone's doing in the week, say, at an area. And then the division of that is most people didn't catch fish, the fishing might be tough. Or most people aren't catching fish. So the one person that says they have caught fish or someone fluked a fish, you put that into context then, and that's reality. Just keeping an eye out for crocodiles. I saw that log floating. Right, I'm out of here. I've been out fishing all day. I wish you all the best, but this is just what I do. This is my background. I think someone should have been talking like this a long time ago. It cuts through all the BS in the industry. And that group of people, I couldn't take them to an Academy of Sport and they wouldn't be let into an Academy of Sport with a swipe card. And they would be embarrassing in front of professionals in other areas of business or in sport. They were highly embarrassing, and they're highly embarrassing in a scene. And we can't take the scene forward with that group running it, all right? It needs to be a bit more reality-based, and then we can actually plan. But if you're planning from a fake destination that you're already a Jedi, well, how do you plan to get better from there? You don't. And that's a lie, okay? We can all learn. Up to everyone. All right, I'm going to run, but this is exciting. A good wet season. Fingers crossed for a great season. But all the best. This is a fishing history and evolution summary over 20 years. Take it or leave it, but it's real, okay? And at least you can start basing your career with someone that talks in reality-based terms, that doesn't have their whole ego or identity in fishing and can earn money outside of fishing. So I can talk really straight to the point. And a lot of people that are fake notice them because they're not going to like it. And so you found out what they're really like.